peoples. Let me. Harold is here and Eva is here. Let me just join them. Hi Eva. Hi Harold. Can you hear me? I think okay. You just put on mute. I think everybody. Uh, okay, I'm just trying to understand. It's like, is it automatic mute or something?
Jesse, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, but the rest are okay. Eva too is now on. Hi,
Okay,
I
Eva.
don't.
yeah.
I just put the video on in a minute. I think I have to take it off because I'm out in the bush and I don't have enough bandwidth. But okay, let's try.
Okay,
Hi.
okay, okay, yeah,
Oh,
okay, okay. Yeah.
oh my
No
gosh,
issues.
what
Okay.
a day.
Let me
So
just share the screen.
Eva, your face is dark.
yeah, I know. Maybe I should move around. It's because of the connections here. So this is better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Eva, that side is okay. Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
okay. Okay, it's just where I have the Wi-Fi. I'm in the bush in Africa, so the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi connections, and you know it, haha.
yeah.
Okay, well, okay,
Okay,
okay. Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah, everybody.
uh,
Okay, yeah, Shetty, let's go on.
Yeah, welcome everybody on this knowledge exchange program. Um, I think this, just mute. Okay, that's better. Okay, yeah, welcome to this knowledge exchange program. We started this program because there is a lot of hype about producing moringa and the buyers and all those things, and then a lot of people are talking about health benefits and the distribution and all those things. But then the one who is producing this moringa, not many people, or there are not many posts or many conversations happenings for those farmers who are actually producing it. So this is a platform where people, the small farm holders or a big farm holders, or whoever would like to produce the moringa, who wants to sell the moringa in the market, and they would like to earn some money to make their living. So this is a platform for them. The objective is to help them with the information, so to create a decision support system, providing with this information so that they can make better decisions in order to produce the moringa, sell it in the market, and earn their living. So this is the basic objective of uh, creating this platform, to exchange the knowledge with each other, to help them in order to make the better decisions. uh, today's topic is about uh, today's topic is about selecting the seeds in the commercial moringa farming, whether you would like to go for the leaf production, or you would like to go for the pod production. Maybe you'd like to produce the oil, extract the seeds and seed derivatives. You always have to go in the market and look for the seeds. So when you go in the market and you look for the seeds, all we do is, mostly there are two basic comparison. One is the price, where you're looking into the price, who's offering the better price, and the other one is the germination. These are the only things that I have been, observing. People buy these seeds, whether the what's the price, packaging, and what's the germination rate. But apart from that, we need to look beyond that. When you go in the market and when you don't just ask specifically, just give me any variety that you have. You go in the market and you ask for some particular variety like that, maybe PKM1 variety, or Momax variety, or ODC3 variety. There is some name of the variety that you go in the market and you ask for that particular variety. Now the reason you are asking, consciously or unconsciously, you're asking this particular variety because you would like to have those characteristics of those variety, and you would like to brought them on your farm, grow them, and then sell it in the market, hoping that this variety is better than the other seeds, the other variety seeds that is available in the market. But then either people who are selling these seeds, they don't have information, or they don't share this information, or people who are buying these seeds, they don't have this information, what questions exactly to be asked when you go in the market. So how do we know which seller is the right one and which seller is the right one? Because they all are packaging in a beautiful packaging, and they're probably offering the same prices. So this is a session about, when you go in the market, you have the information, you can actually ask this question to the seller, and based on this particular information you can decide which seller is talking, giving the better seed, and then compare the prices and then buy the seed. So it will give you enough knowledge, enough information to make a decision to go in the market and buy right seeds for you. Now, when you go in the market, you have an objective whether I would like to go for the leaf production or I would like to go for the seed production. So let's talk about the leaf production. When you have an objective of producing leaves or the leaf derivatives, and if you would like to choose a variety, the basic principle is, you can choose any variety. It really does not matter which variety you go for, as long as the germination is very good. The standard germination rate for the moringa is minimum 70%. So make sure you can buy any seed, any variety seed for the leaf production. You don't have to go for any specific variety, and there is a reason for that. I'll come to that as well. But then you don't have to be confused. I'm going for the leaf production. Which variety should I choose? You can simply go for any variety which is locally available, because for the leaf production you need large amount of seeds. If we are talking about in acres, in 1 acre you need at least 2 kilogram of seeds. If you are talking about the hectare, you need at least 5 to 6 kg seed in 1 hectare, so that you can produce enough number of leaves to sell in the market, if that is your area, 1 acre or 1 hectare. So there is no point in going for the costly seeds, and getting on your farm and then just grow the leaves out of it. Every moringa variety is gonna produce the leaves. It does not matter which variety it is. What matters is how you produce, what you do in your field, how you produce, your management practices, your agriculture practices, your input, your weather, your soil. These are the factors that actually matters uh, when we talk about the content of the leaf, color of the leaf. Variety plays a negligible role in leaf production. So you don't have to focus on that when you are going for the leaf production. You can only focus on the germination thing. It plays a very negligible part. Yes, sometimes you will feel that there is a difference, color difference, a little bit dark green or light green, something like that. But the majority of the time, the things matter while producing the leaves is your management practices, how you dry it and how you process it. So if you're focusing on that, and if you do that in better in processing, packaging, and producing, the seeds that you have chosen really does not matter. So let's talk about, this is for the leaf. So this is how you choose for the leaf production. If you're going for the seed production, this is where the variety matters, because the seed comes from the pod, from the fruit, and fruits are dependent. They they inherit the characteristics of the original plant or the mother plant. That is we call as truthful seeds. That means it is inheriting the characteristics of the mother seed or the mother plant. So that actually gives you how long is gonna be the pod, how many seeds are gonna be in one particular pod, how many pods it's going to produce, how many times it's going to produce, and the fertigation requirement, the management requirement, and overall the variety impacts the end production as well. So if you're going for the seed production or seed derivatives like the seed powder, seed oil, or if you're selling the seeds to farmers in the market, you're selling the seeds to anybody, your variety makes the difference. So this is where you have to be careful which variety you choose. There are a lot of varieties in the market. Like if you go for the perennial variety, there is ODC3 variety. Uh, for the annual, you have PKM1 variety, PKM2 variety. Then you have Momax variety, you have Bhagya variety, and there are a lot of local varieties as well. Now, thing is that, uh, for example, you're going for the seed production. You go in the market and you're looking for the seller who who is selling the right kind of seed. How you know that he is the right seller irrespective of his prices? So there are certain things that goes into the production of the seed, and this is where the seller has to be very transparent, so the buyer knows about it, and then it will be easier for him to decide, to go for that. The first thing is the source of the seeds. If I am selling the seeds to you, where did I get my seeds from? Is it from, like in India, we have institutes, we set up MOUs with them, the research institutes, where they resource the nucleus seeds or the breeder seeds to farmers, and then farmers are practicing the scientific seed productions so that they can sell those seeds to other farmers, because other farmers are looking for particular variety. When they're looking for the particular variety, that means they would like to inherit those characters. They're not looking for just any variety. So the source of the seed is very important. The seller has to maintain the source of the seed. He just cannot go in the market, buy the seeds, start producing, and then start selling it. If he's doing that, that means source is not right. Uh, uh, and the seeds that he's selling in the name of any variety, it's not the right variety, in fact. So the source of the seed is very important. Second thing is the isolation distance. If a seed producer has to produce the seed, he has to maintain the isolation distance, because these variety, the Moringa, is highly cross-pollinated. So if there are multiple varieties around his farm, the there will be mixed of characteristics. Like there is a PKM1 variety here, and right next to it there is a maybe Momax variety. Right next to it, maybe there is some other variety. There are local varieties as well grown. So if all these varieties are just growing next to each other, you will not get the right kind of the production from that. There will be mix and match with these seeds. So the isolation distance has to be maintained at least 500 meter to 1 kilometer. There should not be any other uh, Moringa commercial plot in between, so that you can maintain the truthful characteristics of the variety. Then after that, when the seller sow that seeds, he has to remove the other plant. Sometimes whenever you sow the seeds, sometimes you see, there are other types of varieties sometimes mix, or if you feel that this variety doesn't match with the other plant. So, oh, good morning. Uh, so you have to remove those kinds of plants, that is called as roguing, so that within the plant, within the field itself, all the plants that you're procuring your seeds from, they all are same, they all are producing the same characteristics. After that, the seed producer has to look into the maturity of the seeds. When the pod is exactly matured, it's a brown in color, you have to harvest those pods. then you have to recover the seeds from the pods. There is also a scientific method which seeds you can take. You cannot just gather all the seeds from that particular pod and just pack it in the bag and sell it. You have to choose which seed exactly you're going to take from that particular pod. And then after that you have to dry those seeds, because usually there is a moisture beyond 8%. So you have to make sure you dry those pods or seeds, bring the moisture below 8%, so that your germination, whenever you sell those seeds to the farmers, your germination rate is very good. After the after the moisture, you have to do the germination test as well. uh, there is you can do it yourself, also you can give it to third parties, so that there is a cross verification between two parties, so that you know that the seed is actually beyond 70%. If the seed germination rate is below 60%, it is not viable. That lot needs to be discarded. It is not uh, practically, you cannot sell those things to the farmers, because the farmers will not get the right results from it. So it has to be beyond 70% germination taste. After that, you need to do the grading. The grading has to be like, you can use the specific gravity separators, where even the size of the seed is the same, the density of the seeds could be different. The more the dense is the seed, more is gonna be the vigorous plant it will produce, because it has more nutrition, it has more content in it. So that is the reason density also matters. After that, you also have to grade the seeds manually, because sometimes machine does not calculate some of those things, and sometimes seeds could be affected by the insects or something like that. So you have to also do it manually. So each and every seeds that you are going to buy has to be uh, very well carefully graded. Moisture has to be tested, and all these practices has to be taken care of. After that, storage is also important. How you store it, sometimes you are not just able to sell those seeds. From the seller's point of view, I'm talking about, sometimes you're not able to sell those seeds immediately, so you will have to store those seeds. So once you store those seeds, if it is a long time, you will again have to go through the germination test before you actually sell them. Or if you tell anybody, before you tell them this is the seed where the germination is 70%, how do you know it? You must test it, or just give it to the testing lab and obtain the results from it. Then the packing is important, the right packaging before you deliver the seeds. There is also norms for whether the seed is certified or seed is truthful. The certified seed is, you grow the plant, you take the harvest, and then you remove the plantation. Next year you will have to start producing once again, right from the seeding. So these seeds are called as certified seeds. Truthful seeds are, these plants are maintained for 3 years. You take first harvest, second harvest, third harvest for 3 years, and then you remove the entire plantation and start new with new seeds. So these are the two things. If somebody is selling the seeds from the age old plants, like 10 years, 20 years old plant, there are chances that uh, there is a cross pollination has already happened with that particular variety, and you may not get the same characteristic that you are looking for. So there is also difference between certified truthful seeds. And then marketing, distribution, and after that, after sales service, who is offering the better sales service? If you're buying the seeds for somebody, what if it does not germinate? What if it is not producing the good results? The seller itself, whether he is practicing the farming or not, then and only then he will be able to tell you what are the right practices. If the seed is not germinating, why it is not germinating, whether temperature is affecting or not, whether the soil moisture is affecting or not, whether you have done something wrong, or whether something wrong with the seed itself. So the seller will not know this until unless he has gone through all these practices. So these are the parameters. If you are looking for any particular variety, and if you're interested in buying in that particular variety, don't just blindly go in the market and just start comparing only from the price perspective, or from the germination perspective. Ask these questions as well, and whoever answers you satisfactorily, or on his website maybe on WhatsApp, who has maintained transparency about all this procedure. He is the right seller, and then you can choose the right seller and buy the seeds from him. So this is all about I wanted to say about the quality of the seeds from the buyer's perspective. uh, Now this is what we talk about, all these small things that we talk and share the information with the farmers, so that when they have to take the decision, they should have the information. Based on the information, they would be easily take the better decisions and uh, make the farming sustainable and profitable, because they want to earn the money. They're not here just to produce moringa and distribute it for free. They are doing farming commercially, and they would like to earn some money as well. So this information, this data, uh, this will help them to make the decision. Do you have any uh, uh, yeah, let's just acknowledge it. Okay. So do you have any questions before we go ahead?
Yeah, so maybe one quick question, Chaitanya,
Yeah.
about when you talked about initially on the seeds for the leaves,
Okay.
that you indicated we don't need to worry about which type of seeds for the leaves, right?
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
more from the agricultural practices. But how about the yield of the leaves? Is it not dependent on the seed variety?
No, not really. Again, your yield is dependent on your management practices, your soil, your nutrition management, your irrigation management, disease management, and how you process the seed. If you're going for the powder or if you're going for the end product, how you're drying it, how you're processing it. So also, if you're shed drying it or if you're drying it in the oven, the color also changes. So it doesn't really matter which variety you're actually going for. A lot of people are in India, they go for the PKM1 variety. Some people go for the ODC variety. Some people even go for, there are local varieties that universities, horticulture universities has been researching on. The data is not out yet, but the last time I visited, they also had few more varieties which they are thinking it's good for the leaf, but the data is not out. It's they are still in uh, doing the research, and the outcome is not finalized yet. But then once it is finalized, we can also recommend those varieties, particularly for the leaf production as well. But the current scenario is, you can go for any variety, PKM1 variety or the ODC variety or any variety which is perennial. You can go for that, and the production or the yield is really dependent on the distance, also that what distance you maintain, the mortality rate of the plants, and the further practices and the processing. That is what the majorly your quality and the quantity is currently dependent on.
Okay, nice, thank you. Second question.
Yeah.
Um, so when we choose a seed variety for farming practice, yeah, as you indicated, in some cases we plant it only for leaves,
Okay.
some cases for the pods.
Okay.
Do we need to go for leaves and pods like different seed variety, or do we have any one seed variety which can support both cases, leaves and pods?
Any one variety can support in case you like that one. You don't have to necessarily go for the different one. But
Okay.
there are, in terms of seed production, there are slightly better varieties available. So if you would like to go for that, I would recommend for the seed, for this particular seed production, you can go for those varieties like the Bhagya variety, which is also known as the Momax variety. You can go for that variety. The length of the pod is much bigger, sometimes 2.5 to 3 feet. So that will ultimately has more seed into it. So within the same area, within the same investment, within the same management practices, you're getting more number of seeds. So that will help you to extract more oil, more seed powder, or any derivatives that would like to take. So that will benefit you. And for the leaf production, as you know, you can choose any variety. It doesn't really matter.
So in that case, the customers who require the seeds for oil or any other cosmetic purpose, so they normally do not have any specific requirement that I need seed from this variety, right? It's more generic one.
For the leaf one, if you go in the market and if you ask the buyer really does not care about what variety it is coming from. Buyer is looking for what is the content. If the like there are organic constraint like the metal and something, it should not be there. Organic has to be there. After that, the color, they look into the color as well. What color is this? The size, the particle size of the powder, they also look into it. So these are the dissolve. When you put the powder in the water, if somebody is just consuming the water, they also check, what is the percent, how fast it dissolves. More the particles, if they are very tiny and small, what is called mesh, they will dissolve quickly. If the particles are bigger, they will not dissolve quickly. It will start floating on the water itself. So these are the things, the after post harvesting processing things, that actually buyer is interested. But then he's not, usually buyers are not aware of the variety, and they don't really care about that. I would like to have this particular variety's powder. He doesn't really care about, he doesn't know about it.
Yeah, okay, clear. Thank you. Nice.
Yeah, anybody else have any question regarding seeds, how to choose the seeds, or what should we do about the seeds?
Hi, Eva. Eva, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I
Yeah, do you
just
have
say
any?
I may run a little bit back and forth because I have a newborn foal, a horse from one of our street horses from Accra, where the mother has been very, very sick. So
Oh,
I
okay.
have to run every hour and check that she
Okay.
get the milk, and that I may have to inject the mother with oxytocin to get the milk let down reflex running.
Okay.
So, and we have been up since the night.
All right.
So
I think.
I'm sorry if you see me go away for 5 minutes. That's just it. I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have tried tree. I'm on my third location for Moringa here in Ghana, and
Eva,
so
your feed is not
no.
showing, Eva. I think the
So
camera is
sorry,
up.
sorry,
Yeah, it's
sorry.
fine.
I put my phone down. That was it. So
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, I'm just starting here in the bush. Growing moringa for oil. So I have Momax tree, and the soil is not too good. And what I discovered after I fixed the soil problems, the trees are actually growing all right. There's no pollination. So even I had good growth, I had very good flowering. I don't have many trees. I have about 100 now, and there's no pollination. So the neighboring farmers and all their shitty pesticides. Oh my god. So right now I'm in the process of finding a location where I can have bees and keep them safe. Farmer on one side is a pesticide nerd, the other ones on the other side is burning. And so I'm dealing with these external factors that doesn't really have anything to do with the moringa. But I have done 4 different strains of moringa here in Ghana, and with the variable results. I worked for an Indian company on one location on extremely poor soil, waterlogged soil actually. We dug beds and it went very well. I got the seeds from Paul Yeboah at Ghana Permaculture. We had 99.9% germination and a very good survival in the field. And then the company moved me to the US for working for the next year. So, and then they ran out of money and they closed down the project. And then in the north, it was a little bit more difficult. Then I had some other seeds didn't germinate almost at all. They were immature. And then I had some third ones that had some kind of pollution. I didn't want them. And then I ended up last year buying Momax tree. So that's what I'm working with now. And then I just started to put ODC tree in the nursery, and we have some very heavy rains here. So I lost a lot of the young Momax tree last year to heavy rains, because the nursery pots, I had used compostable pots, and I had just taken them out from the house where I have a roof and can control the water. And then there was no sign of rain that day. I took them out on an outside bed, and I drove off to Accra to do something. And in one day, all the nutrients washed out. I couldn't save them. So I lost about 1,000 trees on variable rain-related issues here in Ghana. But I have about 100 growing, and they can handle it. They have good roots. Yeah, that's it. So I'm not expanding yet. I have the money to put up an oil mill, and I'm a nutritionist. I have some ideas on the markets. I have a very good network in Europe, so I'm not really worried about these things. But I have to adjust stuff around the growing. I have some very well drained soil, but we also have a whole lot of rain, so it's a little. So I dug a rainwater pond to catch the water, so I can control what I'm doing. But I need pollination next, so that's it. And I have space enough so I can separate the Momax tree and the Odyssey tree from each other to avoid cross pollination.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's about it. But I need pollination before anything. So I'm working with finding native flowers and getting some bees and all that right now. So
Correct. Yeah,
yeah,
native flowers is a good idea, because a lot of plants have usually flowers very randomly,
yes,
so that will
yes,
definitely help the
yes, yes,
keep the
yes.
bees, food for the bees.
Yes, we have a whole lot of butterflies coming now. There was nothing here last year. It was empty. I mean, and it's quite interesting because Africans always think that the soil is so good and blah blah blah, and now I start to see earthworms because I used a heavy load of compost. I have done composting all my life. I'm good at it, composting and mulching and all that. So now we start to get earthworms. But I have not seen an earthworm on any location we started up. And the pollination here is so bad. So on 100 Momax trees that had flowered, that was flowering well, I got one pot. It says everything. It's absolutely so crazy, so you wouldn't believe it. And the Ghanaians here, they don't know anything about it at all. They just spray, and they don't make the connection between poor yield of whatever they do and no pollination. It's just, I'm a little shaken, but okay. I have the money. I can just buy 10 beehives, and then we're going. So, and then I go for the native trees. And native trees with very good flowering, like Tectona grande, and some of those that have really, really good flowers. It will attract a lot of pollinators, but it's a little bit long way. So.
But then, how do you expect to be flowering? Like flowering throughout the year, or there is a particular season that you look up to?
I don't know. I have to find out. I've been here for 5 years. I've been most of 1 year in the US in that period. And I have worked in 3 different locations. And the ecosystems here in Ghana are very different. So so I'm looking around. I'm investigating right now. I have planted around 100 neem trees, also for other purposes. And I'm going after the Tectona because it has a very long flowering period here in southern Ghana. And then I am on some of the legumes. I have some seeds I'm going to try out, and I have some animal feed legumes also because we have a lot of animals. So I'm actually going for two purposes. One is mostly it is to feed the pollinators in the period where the moringa is not flowering.
Okay. Right. Yes, absolutely.
So and on the other hand, I'm prepared to fence an area and feed the bees. I have no experience with bees, but I'm just going to hire someone who come and help me. And I have dug a pond, which is 6 to 7 feet deep and holds more than 300,000 liters of water. And it was full up after 2 rains here. And I have planted some mahogany around, and I'm waiting for them to come. The neem is doing very well. If you start it hard out on fertilizer, compost, manure, the neem is doing very well. So it's a bit like, yeah, I have to work with the ecosystem. I have to do one more pond next year in the dry season. We cannot get the machines on the soil now. So I'm doing all this, but it's very interesting that there is not really much flowering plants here. There are some native trees, and I'm investigating. I'm running around. I'm doing air layering. I'm doing seedlings. I do all this.
right. Yeah, to
And
keep
then
the
just
bees
the
on
big project is to keep the bees fed all year round
all year round. Yes, they need
and
food.
keep
Otherwise,
shade.
they will destroy it.
Yeah, they need food. Otherwise, I
They
have to
need
buy
food.
sugar water for them. I have to make sugar water for them. But it is a rainforest area with a whole lot of trees. So there are plants, massive amount of green plants, but not many flowers. So I'm investigating while I'm waiting because I lost so many of the Momax tree. I just let them grow, and now I am planting them as cuttings. So I have a small area of 3/4 acre or half an acre where I want to have my parent stock of the Momax tree, where I can irrigate, I can just at the house, I can babysit them very much. So, and then I have a similar place on the other side where I can put kind of a parent stock of the Odyssey tree if it works out all right. So,
Right.
but what I really learned last year was not to plant in the big rainy season. It is much better to plant on the outskirts of the rainy season and then give a little extra water, because the rain was so heavy I couldn't control it. So they simply died from overwatering and from the compost in the planting holes getting pulled down, so they drowned. Even if I have good drainage, it's not that I have lack of drainage, but they drowned. So it was, and I had a lot of. I tried 4 different people to help as farm workers. 2 of them fully educated with degrees, and they made catastrophes all the time. So I'm planting myself. So I'm doing a lot of this work myself. I'm doing the nursery myself and the planting myself. So the one guy he killed, I had told him exactly, I have developed a liquid fertilizer that fits with the environment here and is organically approvable. And I told him that this amount I had prepared would last me for at least 1 month, and he used the whole thing in 3 days, meaning these small moringa couldn't take all that fertilizer. So it's difficult to get someone qualified. Yeah, and the educated ones are even worse than the uneducated, because the uneducated, they listen to what I say. So yeah, so it's actually, there are lots of issues in Ghana that I don't think you have in India. For instance,
Right.
poor soil, very poor soil, and very variable soil.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, Eva, maybe a couple of questions listening to your how do you say, experience.
Yes.
To a first question on the seed selection. So you talked about Momax 3 and the ODC 3.
Yes.
So yeah, if you go for the oil related, how did you choose that, or which one do you recommend? Is it Momax
I
3?
cannot say anything. I just got the Odyssey tree from Josva, so I just have them in the nursery now, and I'm research educated, so I'm trying them on 3 different growing media, and the 1 and 2 is working, and the third is they're not germinating in the third one. So not yet, at least. I planted them like 2 to 3 weeks ago, so I cannot say anything about Odyssey tree at all. But the Momax tree it's growing, yes, but it's interesting that India think Momax tree is low input, and that's not my experience. I have had to use a whole lot of manure and compost and extra liquid fertilizer for fast results when they were suffering. But okay, I also know I'm not on the best soil where I started, but that was because the neighbor farmers had put glyphosate over all my grass area. So I couldn't do anything on the area where I planned to do it last year. I had to let it stay fallow for a year.
Yeah, so
And
that's my second question. So as I understood, you are from Europe, but you chose Ghana, right, to plan
yes,
this
yes, yes,
farming.
yes,
I
yeah.
don't know if you can share. Do you know why you have to choose Ghana? Why not other places? Is there a specific reason?
It's because I had kind of all my life I really wanted to work with trees, and but I have a health education, actually in public health and nutrition. I have a lot of training in statistics and all that, PhD level, and then I got tired of Europe, and I got tired of having to earn. So I had a horse farm with 50 acres, and we grew our own horse food. So when all my kids were grown up, I sold everything, and then I just went. And then I have a friend here who has a company, and he's from India, and he offered me a job. So he said, "Okay, just come. We find a job for you." So that's how I came here. I actually also have a farm in Kenya, a small farm. It's just 2 acres, and a very small one in Uganda too, where we grow vanilla. And Kenya is also just starting up on depleted soil. I have done 3 different farms in Denmark on depleted soil, so I know the drill. Tons of compost and manure and green manure and all that. I know the drill. So I'm hot on working with restoration. I'm not so. It's not so. I get a European pension soon. I'm old enough for that. So I'm not so hot on producing a whole lot and earning a lot of money immediately. That's not my. I want to develop and investigate if we can get like the Odyssey tree, the Momax tree, whatever, to yield as much. So it really is better than the local varieties. So I'm more of an investigator than of a producer, but I have this farm of getting close to 40 acres, and I think it's important for Africa to get investment from elsewhere. So there is a system called Better Globe who do pension investment on a small scale where people can decide how much money they put in. But they do it with timber, and that has a 20-year perspective. And there's a lot of elderly, middle-aged people in Europe who lost their pension savings, as I did myself, in the different crises and bankruptcies and all that. And these people would like to invest, but they are not super rich. So my overall aim is to find a way to help them invest in crops that have a faster turnover than timber. So that could be moringa, it could be cocoa, it could be vanilla, something that has like a 4 or 5 year turnover perspective. And that is my real purpose. And then I want to do it in a way so that we improve the income for the local small scale farmers. And moringa is a tool for that, together with cocoa or vanilla in Uganda or bananas in Kenya, or so it's more of a tool for improving the livelihoods of the people. And
Right.
I'm doing a whole lot of work on animal nutrition, um, and how to feed animals sufficiently so they actually produce, but with less input. And I'm crazy good at that.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so
Shetty, Eva has been a very resource person for us with African Moringa Hub over the past 2 years. She has been always, anytime you call on her, she comes to share her knowledge. She's
yeah,
very good at nutrition, and we have benefited from her immensely, both on a global level. So this is not something new to her. Even with
no,
me in Ghana, anytime I have any difficulty with knowledge on nutrition and other things, she's always available. So she's someone we can work with, and then she will use her knowledge to help others.
oh yeah,
Anything concerning nutrition, I can bet it out that she is good at that. She's tried a lot of seeds. Most of the time, some of the seeds she has even sourced it from me. If you remember, I went to Burkina and I got you some
yeah.
seeds. Do you
Those
remember?
seeds, yeah, they were not good.
Good.
I,
I got some seeds.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
But
So
that was the same period as IPMC sent me to the US, so it went that one went a little bit haywire.
yeah, so we will be using Eva as time goes on, and then she will be sharing her knowledge with us. She has enough experience for us. When the ODC3 came down, she just told me, Joshua, I need some. So I mean, she's
Yeah,
always on. She's
that's
always on with us. So
yeah,
today we will get a day and then get her to give us a full detailed discussions. Today we are
yeah.
running out of time. We just have about 5 minutes, and we've already blown 2 hours.
Okay, sorry for me talking so much.
Yeah,
I
Eva.
think
So Eva,
we
maybe you can wind up. Shetty, we will have her, or we can arrange and get her over because she's she's good at something like this. But we have already blown almost 2 hours. Remain 5 minutes to
Wow.
hit 2 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, I think we also have Hemant sir here from Nepal,
Yeah,
and
Okay.
namaste
he's
everyone. I'm from Nepal.
Yeah, hi.
Chaitanya ji, Ram Avatar ji, Ram Lakhu ji, in Moringa City, my dear friend Josu Hurara is also here. I think we are missing Marina Price, and we are missing Dr. Levan from Nagaland. I'm so glad to
yeah,
see you all. We are Moringa lovers. And nowadays I am ODC tree lover also. Seti Udyog, from Seti Udyog, I got 2 kg of moringa seed, and nowadays we have planted here. Thousands of moringa sapling are here, and I have planted more than 24,000 moringas. And one farm we have,
Wow.
and we are selling leaf powder here in Nepal. And just sharing for you, and I am from Nepal, please. So happy to see
Very
you
lovely
all.
to meet. Yeah.
I'm also very
thank you
happy.
so much.
Just know you are after so many months I saw you here. Feeling
Yeah,
so happy.
that's right, sir.
Nowadays I have
Hemant,
got another opportunity that I am as a chairman of Cotton Development Committee of Nepal, and it was made by government of Nepal, that ministry decision. So I am quite busy nowadays on cotton farming in
yeah,
Nepal.
Wow.
correct. Yeah, I saw a couple of posts, the white gold that
Yeah,
you posted on Facebook. Yeah, I was going
yeah,
through
yes,
those things.
Herald, yes, yes.
And one secret about this man is he wants publicity. He is like a politician. Everywhere there is,
Wow.
yes, he's everywhere. He's everywhere on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and he's a media person, a Moringa person, a cotton person, one man, 8 billion trees man as well. So he's everywhere.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
Trees
yeah,
are
yeah,
life. Trees are life. Especially Moringa is 100 times better than other trees. So
yeah,
we must love Moringa too much. It is life plant, miracle
yeah,
plant.
yeah.
So I love you all, Moringa guys. our Moringa family.
Yeah, thank you so much for passing through. Thank you so much. All right,
Most
thank you.
welcome, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Harold, are you around?
Yeah, it's here, I think.
All right, has he got something to say?
I think he's
He's
is he
off.
talking? He's on mute, I think.
Okay, can you try
Okay.
the other man, Mr. Saran?
Let me.
Mr. Saran, are you around?
Yeah, I think he's also on mute.
He's
Maybe
also on me. Okay,
I can tell I asked him to join, so he's from my team from India.
okay, okay.
Yeah, that
All
means
right. So maybe you have something to ask for on his behalf because I think we are already 2 hours in, and I think we should be winding up very soon.
I think Harold is saying something, but then he's on.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's raised his hand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Harold, you can go on.
I
Hello, Mr. Harold.
we don't hear still. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe he.
he's trying to say something, but
Hello, Mr. Harold. All right. I think
so
he
yeah.
has
In
an
the end,
issue.
I just yeah. I think. But then yeah. In the end, I just would like to talk about the program so that whatever way or in any way you can help support or just spread the word, or if you have any farmers over there, you can just reach out to them who are interested in the moringa farming and would like to have the information before they go for their decision. This is the platform that can help, where we can conduct the basic trainings. We can have the individual sessions. We can also have a group sessions. Like we have people here like Eva who has so much of experience in Ghana. So she actually talked about the ground level problems. There is a rain going on. It's not flowering, or soil is not good, and she has to do a lot of things to get the produce. So this is what I'm talking about, talking about the real problems and the ground level solutions using the local resources. You cannot keep importing or finding out the costly solution for the small farm holders or the poor farmers or the growers who does not have capital. So there has to be solutions using the local resources, local people involved in it, and we're talking about these kind of solutions. Even I had a conversation with the Lakumanan as well, where he wanted to do something for the people in his hometown, where there is not much of water available. So that is the reason he chose. He could start with the moringa plants along with the local crops, so that they would have something to fall back on in terms of sustainability and making it economically viable. Because if it is not economically viable, the farmers will not keep continuing with the farming. Also, there is a crucial part, the marketplace, where he can sell those products. There is a lot of hype on Facebook and media about the moringa, and sometimes farmers just don't think about that and just go for the farming, and then later on they find out that they are not able to sell those produce, and ultimately they have to take the decision to remove it. So the resource, the money, the time is already being wasted before they take the decision. So we need to come up with something where they can think about all these things before they would like to go in the farming, especially for the commercial purpose, and then they take the better decision about it. And we can help them with this platform. So yes, but then without the farmers participation or the investigative research like Eva, who are doing a lot, without these participants, there is nothing much we can do. So it's better to spread out the word if somebody is interested. And not only that, this information doesn't only help in moringa farming. You can apply the same information, the same base to any other farming. the local, whatever that you can sell in the local market, whatever that fetches you that kind of economy to live your life, to make it sustainable. You can apply the same knowledge, the groundwork to any other crops as well. So it's not about only moringa, but then let's start with the moringa as well, and then bring as many farmers on the platform. We are trying that every weekend. We should keep continuing with this, bringing a particular problem, talking about that problem today. Many of you may have joined late and missed the presentation, but then we are also recording the video and making it precise, and also posting it on the YouTube, which you can later go and watch it. You can also share those videos so that other people who still have problem choosing the variety and thinking about which one to go, they can take the help from that information and decide for themselves, so that they can be independent and they don't have to rely on somebody else to make those decisions. So this is all about from my side. Joshua, you have anything to say?
Johnson, unmute yourself, please. Johnson,
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Harold. Can you say something? I don't think he has been able to resolve his issue.
No, I just want to check because I actually have a lot of calculations on what the actual nutrient content would be if you make compost like this way and that way. And you know as well as I do, Joshua, that here in Ghana you can buy one bag of compost for, I don't know, 30, 40 cities. And it's very expensive. Farmers cannot do that if they have 2,000 trees. So I have done all these calculations on how to make liquid fertilizer that is with organic approved things. I mean, what happens if you mix this and that and this and that? And I have all that sitting in spreadsheets. So it's okay, I share it on Telegram because I used a lot of the time with COVID in where I was still in Accra to sit and do all these calculations. So, like if you have here in Africa, we have a lot of very little available phosphate, and that means that the root development is often very poor, and
Right.
you need to go about all that. So I can share all these calculations that I have made. It's not on a high scientific level, but it's down to earth practical.
That's okay. That's fine. Yeah, that is fine.
So
We will. Yeah, that is fine. We will receive it and then share it to our people. So
yeah.
that's not a problem. If I immediately we end up, I will call you and we discuss on that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's fine. All
And
right.
then the other thing is the mindset, and I think to teach on the more long-term perspective, because one thing that baffled me as a European in Africa is that the Africans give up so easily. So, for instance, in our small farm in Uganda, they had canned coffee, and then the coffee prices went down. And it happened like 4 or 5 years. They were just starting to yield, then they cut the whole thing down and started with something else. Instead of just waiting a bad year or two, and then they have the high yield, and then they get the money. And it's the same with the cotton in Uganda, with the vanilla. Everyone was sitting in the house under the lockdown, but they didn't care for the vanilla plant. So the yield got bad. I mean, there is something about the mindset and the persistence, the capacity for being persistent that is very, very different from Europe and India and Africa. I don't know if you agree, Joshua. It's not a criticism of anyone, but it's just something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. With time, it's gradual. Yeah, Eva, it's gradual. It's gradual.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Some of this is from our colonial masters. It's way back from independence, way back. So gradual things will change. Yeah. All right. I will plead if we could end the section today, and then tomorrow at 1:30 we are starting our class with Mr. Harriet from Sierra Leone and Liberia. We are starting the training with him. So anyone who would like to join on, we can give the link and we start the intensive training. It started at 1 o'clock tomorrow till 3 p.m. GMT. That one is for the registered members. So we can talk behind the scenes if you want to jump on board. Thank you very much. And next week at the same
Thank you so
time,
much.
yeah, next week at the same time, we shall do the same thing. My boss,
Goody goody.
good.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, nice evening.
Harold, thank you, please.